Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sabythesimmer, aka Sabythesimmer. I hope you're doing well this Tuesday. So I'm back with another video. It's a speed build, but it's also a renovation build. So as you can see, this build right here, right in front of us right now, it was up in the gallery. I posted this voluntarily. No one forced me to. I posted this willingly on the gallery. I am so sorry that you have to see this, but I did. So I came across it on the gallery because I was looking for my old builds to see which one I can renovate, and I found this one. I said, it needs some help, so we're gonna renovate it. I was originally gonna go with just base game, but I decided to use base game, the deluxe desert kit, whatever it's called, and also the holiday pack, which was like the free pack that was like done ages ago. So I'm gonna give you guys a tour, and then we'll go through the speed build process, and then I'll show you the screenshots afterwards of like the befores and afters because it needed a lot of help. Okay, so let's go into the tour. So as you can see, it was just a base game build originally, and this is how it looks when you enter. I was really like, as I was like filming the tour bit, I'm doing the voiceover separately, but as I was filming it, I was like, there's so many things, so many questions I have to ask, like why there's these little nooks. The living room was on a platform, and I don't even know why. The wallpapers are 2 different colors. Ask me why, and I can't tell you why. The floor is very orange. Okay, the living room. Oh boy. The TV's in the middle of the room, which I wouldn't have had a problem with if there wasn't a sofa behind the TV. So you go and sit down and you get the perfect view of the back of the TV, which I think is fantastic, and there's a fireplace. I was really cussing out this build. I was like, where the hell did I even think I was going with this build? And then I realized, guys, which is kind of embarrassing, that it took me a while to realize. The floor plan is actually based on the house I live in now. So, yeah. Why is there one cabinet up there? Like, granted, in the kitchen there is literally one cabinet there, but it's not obviously on the window.
And why? Why is there such a huge gap in between the fridge and the oven? It's bugging me, my homegirls.
Yeah, I came to realize that this is actually the floor plan of the house I'm living in. So the kitchen dining room is in the same room. And, yeah, there's fireplaces. They're not functional in terms of like they've just been like blocked off kind of thing. And then the outside, I didn't do any landscaping for this build, as you can see. But granted, I live in a house that is like attached to other houses like next to it. Like they're all attached. So there's no real space to have a bunch of landscaping and stuff around it. But this is the bathroom. Basically, very basic bathroom, as you can see. And I did mention, right, that I just used base game with this. I think I did. But yeah, we go upstairs, and there's carpet all on the stairs, and then also on the landing in my actual home. So that's why it's done like this. But I don't understand why I picked green carpet, because the carpet is not green. I'm pretty sure it's like a dark blue or dark grey. I can't actually remember. I don't pay attention to the colour of the stairs or the carpet, to be fair. But I'm very confused. And I did switch up the floor plan slightly in the upstairs because it just didn't make sense to have like 3 rooms and 1 bathroom. I hate the fact that we live in a house with 1 bathroom. Why is there 3 rooms and 1 bathroom? But anyway, this is one of the rooms. I think this might have been the room that's like based on my room. I have the small room. Yeah, I think it is, because my room's on that side of the room, the house. And then this would be my brother's room. And then the other room is my mum's room. So, yeah. I don't know why I've just put in like just a bed and a TV. Just a big TV, that's all you need. And then this room has a desk and a bed. The TV just in a really random spot, but that kind of is like kind of where the TV is in my mum's room, to be fair. And because she like works from home sometimes, that was the little desk setup that she had there. It didn't look like that. I don't know why it looks like that. I just don't understand what was going through my head. This was so I could get the room proportions right, so I just ended up blocking out, but like it's just this L shape that's just useless. It's just empty space. Oh brother. So yeah, I really want to know what was going through my head when I built this. Like, I know it was built based on the floor plan that I'm living in, and here's the welcome wagon for the random sim that I have here testing out. But still, I'm very disappointed in my past self for that build. But we are gonna switch it all the way up. It's gonna look so different from the outside compared to how it looks now. If you see the thumbnail, you obviously will see what it looks like now. But yes, this is a speed build. I cleared out everything. Originally, I took the stairs out and then I put the stairs back because I was like, I wanted to do a realistic renovation, so I felt like it made sense for the stairs to stay in the same place, because moving stairs I can imagine is a big job to do in any renovation. So I just kept the stairs in the same way. I just changed this type of stairs. With the floor plan, like I said, I did change it up slightly. So there is, I believe now there is 3, is there 4? So I've changed it, and it is still 3 bedrooms, but there's actually 2 bathrooms upstairs now, and then there's still the big bathroom downstairs. I wasn't sure what I should do with the 3rd bathroom downstairs, or like the main bathroom downstairs, because I was like, why would you need so many bathrooms? Literally, there's a bathroom for each room essentially, because of the space that was left. And I didn't want to shrink rooms and the house down because I wanted it to be a realistic renovation. So I didn't want to like shrink rooms, because realistically you wouldn't really shrink rooms, you'd probably expand on the house shape and the rooms. I had to change the roof because the roof was horrendous. So I've just changed it up and kept it really simple. And there is like a bay window in the living room, so I wanted to like keep that, but I just had to keep it tidy. And just the way things were looking, I just didn't understand it, like the trims and where the trims were. And it's so wild because this build isn't super old. It's like, oh, I can't see the date. It doesn't tell me the date because I had like the screenshots of the build, but I've just got the details. So originally the build, it was just base game, so that's why I was still, I'm just actually surprised it was 68k. There was literally nothing in this build. There was nothing in this build to contribute to 68k worth of anything. So that was very confusing. It's on a 30 by 20 lot. And originally, like you would have seen, it's like 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. And then when I've renovated it, I kept it on the same lot, but it is now 109k simoleons. And it's 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. So a lot has changed. A lot has changed indeed for this build, because I wanted it to feel a bit more homey, a bit more warm and interesting. Because, like I said, I really wanted to go with base game originally because it was a base game build. And I felt like, you know, we'll keep the same flow. But I really wanted to use the bifold doors. Is that what they called? The ones from the Desert Luck kit. I said, if I have to, I will use that kit just for that door. And then I decided I'll use the actual kit and like use the rest of the items. So in the bedroom, the main bedroom, I did end up like just using the accent table that came with the Desert Luck's kit, because that was literally the only thing I think I didn't use from that kit. Other than, actually, that's a lie, because I didn't use the awnings or the fan or the little spotlights that are on the floor. There's pretty sure there's something, oh, like in the window. So I didn't use everything from the kit, but I just didn't want to feel like I used the kit for one thing. So I tried to use the kit a few more times. And like I paint all the rooms the same color, and then I go into each room when I'm actually decorating and like change things up here and there. But you'll see that as I'm doing it. As and when I'm doing it as well. I tried a different editing process this time because I just felt a bit overwhelmed. Like, I filmed, why did I sound like what was that? I filmed this, when did I film this now? I think last week. It was Sunday. No. Was it Sunday? No, it wasn't Sunday, because Sunday I finished another build. It was, no, Saturday is when I finished another build. So this, I think I finished probably Thursday or Friday last week. I can't actually remember. I didn't stream last week, so that's why I had like extra time to build. So I built this, and I also built something else that I finished on Saturday. So I've got to edit that ready for Thursday's videos. Videos or video? Yes, anyway, I built it, and I wanted it to look a lot better than it was originally looking. I wanted to keep some elements, and because it was like an old English house, kind of based on the house I live in, it's an old house. I'm in England, so, you know, I wanted to keep the whole brick. And I know the reason why I chose the stone for the whole house in the original build. I get it, because the walls are, what is it? It's called Pebble Dash? I forgot what it's called, but it's basically the texture where like they've put some kind of concrete maybe, and then like pressed stones or pebbles into it. So like the outside of the house is very rough. I'm not a fan of it. It's kind of an old style. I'm not a fan of it, but that's what it is. I think it's called Pebble Dash. I could be absolutely wrong, but I think that's what it's called. And I'm not a fan of it. So yeah, but I kept it because I really wanted to do a realistic build essentially, and that was the house floor plan that I kind of live in and how my house kind of looks. So yeah. I make the house, the way it was decorated made me look like there's literally nothing in this house. I mean, granted, when we moved in there was nothing, but there's obviously stuff now, so it was just so empty. The build was just so empty originally. I didn't understand it, and I was really cussing it out as I was going for the tour, because I was trying to like time myself essentially. So like if I'm taking the tour, how long would I be talking for, so I know how long I'm filming for, kind of thing. So as I'm filming the tour, I'm like talking in my head, and I'm just like cussing it out, like dragging it out. Like, what the hell was this? What choices have I made? Then I was like, it was only afterwards as I'm editing the speed build and like using the screenshots and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the floor plan I currently live in, and here I am cussing it out like this is literally not my house. Like, what? But anyway, me move. I wanted to keep the kind of white stone, so I did on the outside on the bay window, and then I also wanted to keep like accents of it, so I used it again in the back where it kind of has a bit of a pump out. And then with the landscaping, I honestly did not know what to do with the landscaping. So I knew I wanted it to feel kind of similar to how it is here. Whereas like if you have a row of houses together, we actually have a drive. So I don't drive yet, but I really need to learn. But we don't have a drive yet. But basically we have a drive, like our own like off-road parking, which is nice. So it means that I wanted to kind of like recreate that in The Sims, but also not make it. I wasn't trying to make it look as English as it is without kind of using things like cottage living or maybe like get to work, like the little stone details and things like that from those builds would have kind of replicated a bit more of the styles that are here. But I didn't want to pay too much attention to the fact of like, oh, it's an English house, like it has to look like it would come off the street kind of thing. Like you'd see it down my road kind of thing. So I just went with like my own creative like direction with it all. So I ended up using like basically everything's debug. I had to. I just had to. But I ended up using like fences to corner, like in the little corners at the front, and then I've got the hedges and I've got a bit of like landscape in there, so like some plants and some flowers. I actually end up adding to it anyway, but you'll see me do that. I did originally put columns like everywhere because I really wanted it to feel a bit more framed, so there was columns on like each of the ends of the corners of the house, and then I actually at the end I'll go in and actually change the corner of the wallpaper to the wallpaper that has the kind of like its own trim, essentially. I think that's what you would call it. But there's literally a swatch of this exact same brick that has a trim at the back, at the end of it, so they can use it on the corners. So it just makes it have a bit more of a frame. It just looks like it's a bit more detail, which I think it was missing a bit of detail. Otherwise I feel like it would look too flat. So I'm glad that I made that decision afterwards. And I've been doing this thing lately, so you would see this now and also in the next people that I've done, where I put down the terrain paint and then add the landscaping. And it's just, I don't know why I've decided to do it that way, but I just decided to do it. Like it kind of helps me to map out where I'm going to put the landscape in. Because I normally will do the terrain paints, like once the landscape is done is when I go in with the terrain paints, and it worked for me at the time that I was doing it, but I've switched it up slightly and I kind of like this way, so I'm gonna keep doing it. But how is everyone? How's everyone's week been? I actually had an eventful weekend. I don't leave the house for anybody or anything, to be fair. So yeah, I actually went out. I was talking to people and stuff, and pretty proud of myself. But yeah, I had like a friend who wanted to film a video, so I went to like film a video with her. That video is already out. It's not a Sims related video, but if you want it, it's in the description. We talk about like self-care, how to look after yourself, things that we're doing. I'm not the best when it comes to self-care, but if you want to watch the video, I'll leave the link in the description. And I'm in the process of like filming my October, because I haven't done anything for my lifestyle YouTube channel in like months. Like the last thing I did was Vlogmas, so yeah. It's been a while, so I thought I would start up again. Like this weekend really inspired me to like do some more of my lifestyle content, because I was just around people that were just like genuine cool people, and it just made me feel like I want to capture these cool moments, these good times. And I don't go out a lot, but October for me is actually kind of busy. I have a concert to go to. It's my sister's birthday. We also have like, we're going to like an open mic event as well this month, so I've got a few things planned. So it's just a matter of like filming them and things like that and getting it ready for the vlog. Also, it is the 4th of October, and October in the UK is actually Black History Month. So now is a really good time to go and like find and support and encourage and celebrate some UK Black content creators. But back to what I was saying, I am literally busy up until like the end of October. So the October vlog might not be up until like the 1st of November or something like that, because yeah, it depends. But I'm started editing it. I'm gonna edit it day by day. I think I mentioned how I edited this video differently, and then I kind of just went on to another topic, didn't I? Probably. It feels like it's rung a bell, like I've come back around to that topic now. But the landscaping pretty much came together quite quickly. I originally was just going to have it in those corners where I put the original like stone bricks from Debug and then the hedges. And then I went around, added some more hedges around the edge of the builds. Then added in the low stone fence from base game, and well, it is just base game only in Desert Lux, and Desert Lux didn't come with fences, so yeah. I'm gonna figure this is a base game only build, but it's not. But like the things that could be used for this build are all stuff that's free at the moment, so if you already have the game, download that Desert Lux kit and you can download this build. And also you can download the holiday pack, which I didn't add loads of details. There's things like candles, the bench that I use outside was from there, and what else? Mostly like the little lights, there's little decorations I added into the children's room and things like that. That's literally it. So it's not things that you're gonna like heavily miss out of the build. You can replace the picnic table with a base game one quite easily, and then it's like a base game only build. Again, the bifold doors you can literally replace with slidey doors from base game or just like a big archway. So hopefully this is a build that anyone who has base game can just download, and then like there's not super amounts of things to replace. Like, you're not replacing wallpapers and loads of different furniture. Like, no. I really wanted to use the new sofas, but the space of the living room, how I'd planned it out, it didn't quite work. And we don't have like a love seat version of the sofa that came in the Desert Luxe kit, so we only have like the 3-seater one, and it's a bit long, so it didn't really fit into the space. And I didn't feel like this was such a like a luxe house that they would have like the single chairs that came with that kit. I just didn't think it would fit. I didn't even try it because I didn't think it would fit, to be fair. So I just went with some other sofas just from the base game. But yeah, the editing style that I changed up. I basically edited it bit by bit because I knew, one, it was going to be a long video, because the last time I did a renovation of my build, it was a long video, especially because I've included in a tour of the original build, a little introduction, and then also before and after screenshots, which I didn't ask at last time. Can I even get my words out? Probably not. My bad. But I didn't add the before and after screenshots last time, so this time around I wanted to. So you'll get to see what the room looked like before and then afterwards, so you can see what changed, really. These plungers are going to be in every single build, because now that I know they're in debug and I keep seeing people use the little random things in debug, like the single toothbrush, the plunger, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it, okay? And I think you should too, because it makes your bathrooms look so realistic and like so normal. I'm here for it. I'm really here for it. But I basically just like edited it bit by bit. So like I had 2 clips at a time, and oh my gosh, it just made the process so easy. And I think maybe because I got overwhelmed, because I did like 2 clips at a time. So if you can imagine, I edited basically 4, maybe 5 videos, but I did them all separately. And like in that 5 videos, there was like 2 clips to edit down. So that's a lot of footage. It was a lot of footage, to be fair. But I think when I have it all in one strip, it just kind of puts me off a bit. So I thought I'm gonna just help myself out and doing clips. The only thing that happens is like I had to like put it all together, which wasn't a big problem. It's actually easier to put it all together because I just had to put a transition in between if I felt the transition was needed, or I could just leave it as a straight cut because it was like the same room essentially. So some of it worked out fine, some of it not so much, but I still enjoyed the process of editing, to be fair. I think it made it easier for me to edit and a bit more enjoyable, as opposed to like overwhelming and like I don't want to edit anymore. I don't want to do anything anymore. I'm just not going to film a video, because sometimes the editing is something that kind of puts me off a video, because I'm like, I really want to put a video out, but I have to spend time editing it, and if I'm not in the mood to edit it, I don't want to feel like I miss anything out, or I don't say anything, or like there's bits of the footage that I don't edit properly. Like I like to do things to the best of my ability, and if I'm not in the right headspace, I feel like it's hard for me to do that, because I'm just going to be a bit distracted, kind of thing. I'm sure you guys get what I mean. In the hallway, I have to explain, I player tested this once I finished building it, so there's some slight changes to the living room and this hallway. So the hallway, I put a desk, and then you won't see me add the computer, but I add a computer afterwards, because I wanted a child sim and I just couldn't bother to add one and create a sim, so I just got the sim that was here to adopt a child because I needed to player test the creativity table, so I just got them to adopt a child, bring the child there home, and get them to test it. And that's when I realized that there was some root issues, so I had to like shuffle things around. The kitchen dining room area pretty much was fine, like I didn't have any issues with that. It was the living space really, but I didn't realize, I forgot that I went actually straight from the hallway into the kitchen, because I remember looking at the living room thinking, nah, I'm gonna do the kitchen first, because I know the style I wanted to, like I knew I wanted a island. I wasn't sure if it would be enough space, to be fair. Like I thought maybe I'd have to make a smaller island, so I did kind of shuffle around different things at first, but then realized it was fine. There's enough space for a dining table, which there was, and I just love these island chairs. What are they called? I don't think they're called island chairs. I'm pretty sure there's a name for them, like bench chairs, bar stools. The bar stools that came with the Desert Luxe kit, they are stunning. I don't think the swatch matches so well with like the cabinets, but it's not so far off that it's like standout, obvious, annoying. And I wanted to keep, like I said, to the same theme of having the fireplace. So I guess it wouldn't be realistic to have a fireplace move in a house. Like it wouldn't be very feasible. But I thought I would use from the holiday kit. I mean, not the holiday kit, the holiday, like there's a free holiday pack basically, and it came with that fireplace frame, and I really liked it in the room just to like create the illusion of there was a fireplace, but we've like made it into a bit more of a shelf, and it does have slots on it, so you could put things on it like pictures and stuff, which I think is pretty cute, especially because it's like the dining space. I think it's cute to have like family photos there and make it feel really homey. I only really cluttered up a little bit of one counter, and then I just added some more clutter to the island because there's not a lot of island, like there's not a lot of counter space to cook and stuff. I didn't play test it, but I know Sims can cook on the island counters fine, and there's also one spare counter anyway, so even if you felt like there wasn't enough, you can always just get rid of the clutter that's next to the microwave, because even though it's like right in the corners, it can still probably interfere with the Sims. Like they might still not cook on that counter, so just to avoid it, you can remove those bits and bobs. I really hope with the Sims 4 going free that we get some more free stuff in the base game. So just some more like build and buy items, because I feel like the styles that we've got already are very specific, and we definitely need some more so we can have more variety when it comes to like base game only builds. But I have the dining table, and I use chairs I never normally use. Like I've never used those chairs before, so I decided to use them because one, I've never used them, and I thought maybe it would add a bit more of an industrial kind of feel to the room, and I feel like they kind of went well because it kind of had a similar style-ish, or kind of just matched slightly with the bar stools, so I went with it. I liked it. It works. And I wanted to have like the dining table feel a bit more used and like the house feel a bit lived in, so I wanted to go with like the like hot sauce thing stand and like flowers and the pepper and salt shaker I think as well. But like every time I tried to shuffle things, it just wasn't lining up the way I wanted it to, so I got rid of it. And then we got aprons on the side, and then I end up adding, like, I felt like the other wall was just like the wall next to the bifold doors, I felt like it was empty, so I ended up just adding random stuff. So I moved like the picture, the baby picture things, or like the child picture things, so like behind like the backsplash of the kitchen area, and then add some shelves, and then add some random like clutter pieces up there. I also add a lunchbox to the island, which I think is a nice little detail to, you know, make it look like it's a lived-in home. Charles just come in from school, chuck the lunchbox down. There's like half a sandwich eaten in there. all this sweet stuff is eaten, but like the sandwich is like half eaten, and there's like crust and random stuff in the lunchbox ready to be cleaned out. That's the kind of mindset I had when I was clearing up this room. And then I add the like overhead pan, like pots and pans kind of hanging thingy above the island. It just looked a bit empty, and I didn't know what light to use, so I just used that, and then I just used a spotlight because it would then give a lot of light to the room itself, which it definitely needed, to be fair. And I did this thing, I can't remember who it is that I watched, I don't know if it's Devin Bumpkin, but if he ever has like a room that he's just like blocked out and it's not going to be used, even if it's like a 1x1, he'll raise the platform in that space, and then that way when you put the walls down, that wall stays up. And so I did that because the front of the house kind of has that kind of like caved in, I don't think caved in is the right word, but basically I've done those like 1x1 rooms right next to the entrance, and then I've raised them up. But what I noticed is it's creating this like weird dark shadow, which you'll see in the room. Like it just looks really dark on one side, and I thought maybe it's just lights, I need to add light over that area. I moved lights, I changed lights, I did all of that kind of stuff, and it didn't work, so I just ended up raising it, putting it back down, and I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I hope that's what I did. I remember doing it. I hope I kept it that way. And I obviously had to use the curtains from the Lux kit because those curtains are stunning. And I felt like the rooms were looking a bit too neutral, a bit too samey, so I had to break it up a little bit with some blue. And I didn't want it to be too soft of a blue because I feel like it would still blend in too much. So I tried to like bring out a deeper blue using that rug with like the neutral tones, but also it's got that deep blue on there as well. I thought it'd like help bring some color in. And like I said, I changed this room around. So I originally put the bookcase like behind the sofa, and it's a bit of a tight squeeze, and the sim couldn't interact with the bookshelf, so I ended up moving the bookshelf out into the hallway. And because I put the creativity table in the living room, the angle that I put it in meant that the child sim couldn't use it, so I had to move that, and in moving that I had to move the bookcase out basically. So there's some shuffles made in this room to make this room work a bit better. So this looks different to the screenshots and like the build you get on the gallery, just because I playtested it after I finished filming it, so I didn't add in the changes that I made. For some reason I thought I was recording when I was making changes, but then I wasn't, so you guys won't see the changes, you'll just see the screenshots. And I put some like pictures on the wall and some shelves underneath them. I believe I keep it the same. No, I don't. I change it. So the pictures, I size one down and then put it above the larger one, so it's kind of, it looks like a bit of a gallery, like a stacked gallery. And I believe I keep one shelf on one side, but I'm not sure, and I can't remember. I think I put like a plant on the other side of it. Working with just base game, like working with limited packs is really hard, because like you just want to fill up every corner, but you're limited to what stuff you could use. And then I think I put a mirror next to the entrance of the door. So also, I forgot to mention, the kitchen dining area has 2 entrances, so you can go for the bathroom doors through the living room, or you can literally just go through the door that's coming out of that's like connected to the hallway, basically. I don't know why that was hard to say, but there's 2 entrances, and I like the flow of it, so you can like flow through the house. I always think if you have Sims over and it's like big gatherings, like I just hate when Sims just all clustered together because they can't move anywhere because they don't have space to move. It just gets on my nerves, so I decided to like have a bit more of a flow to the house. So I decided to just do a generic teen room, teen girls room, and then also like a boys child's room. I mean, it could obviously be for anyone. I originally wanted to go for like yellows and blues, so that's what I kind of went with for this room. And I didn't realize on the holiday pack it comes with like these hanging details you can have from the ceiling. And then I found a swatch, and it's kind of like blue and yellow, and it's kind of looks like moons and stars. I don't think it's really that, but I saw it and I just added it in because I thought it was a cute little touch. You can't really see it like in the screenshots, but like in live mode you'd be able to see it, because you would be at a certain level where, like, if you was like, not, I don't want to even say first person view, but if you was like literally at direct levels of sim, you could probably see it hanging from the ceiling. I hope that makes sense. If you don't have the holiday pack, then it won't be there, and you're honestly not missing out on anything. It was just something to add to the room, just to make it feel a bit more childlike. And I just squeezed in a few details. And so like the dinosaur and the toy box, and then I put the creativity table downstairs in the living room so they still had something else to do. And they also, did I put the monkey bars outside? I believe I did. I believe so. So they have that as well. And I just pulled out a few little pictures and things like that. And I also used this dinosaur wallpaper, which I don't think I've used before, to be fair. Or maybe I haven't, just in a different swatch. But I went with the like yellow swatch because I wanted to like bring out the yellow in the room. So I went with like blue and yellow. I just thought it was kind of a fun colour. I felt like the shelf that I added in blended into the walls so much when I changed it to like the neutral swatch. I didn't realize it would blend in so much, but it did. So I just put some more colour up there because I thought it would be a cute touch, and I felt like that wall was kind of empty because I ended up moving the mirror to like the end of the bed. And I pre-picked out the rugs for each room, and then that kind of helped me build around the colour scheme. Although, we move on to the teens room, and I changed a few things around in that teens room because the colour scheme that I was originally going for was like this blue and these oranges, and I really wanted to use the rug and the curtains. I wanted to match them up together, but I ended up going with like pink and like blues and like light wood tones. So I basically used that bed and then like matched a bunch of things to that. Sometimes I have thoughts in my head and forget that no one can hear those thoughts, so I need to say things. So I didn't mention this, but the only bathroom you would have seen me do is the one that's downstairs. The 2 bathrooms upstairs, one of them is an ensuite from the main master bedroom, and then the second bathroom is just the bathroom that's shared between the teen and the child. So as you can see there, I was rising up the platforms, the platforms in the 1x1 rooms that I had in the bathrooms, because the bathrooms were just square, and like working with square rooms can be really frustrating or really boring, or both. So because of that, you can kind of see, but you'll see in the screenshots, I just used the walls to like block out a little space, and I've used the stone that I used outside, like the white stone, to give the area that I blocked out a bit of like a feature, so it's not, you know, boring and flat. And the teens room, I really never know what to add into teens rooms, because I feel like teens do things that adults do in the game, so they don't have specific goals and things that they can do. Like if you have the high school pack, then you have more things for teens to do. If you have other packs, you probably have some more stuff for teens to do. If you have the seated living, you can have the console in the room, and like they can game in the room, or the fact that they got a laptop. I think I gave them a laptop so they can do that stuff anyway. And like the laptop pretty much gives them a lot of flexibility in what they can do and skills they can build and things like that. So to be fair, teens do get kind of left out, especially when it comes to like base game builds, because there's not much for them to do. And also with this bedroom, when I play tested it, the sim wouldn't walk past the plant that I put next to like this accent table, so I ended up moving the plant or deleting the plant. I can't remember which one I did, but basically I had to do that in order for the sim to be able to walk around the bed and like use both sides of the bed. And I wanted to test that as well, make sure they could use both sides of the bed. The only thing I didn't test was a child's bed, but that's because I didn't think I'd find any problems with it. I probably should have tested it anyway, but it's in an orientation that I normally always use, so I wasn't thinking there would be a problem. So I just left it the way it was. And then I went into debug to get the headphones. I was watching Little Simsy the other day, and she was like, there's nothing in the game to like give you headphones. And I was like, wait, does she mean just like in the game? Because debug has headphones. But I wasn't going to be that person to comment it, because I was a bit like, maybe she knew, and that's not what she wanted to use. She knows the game longer than I have, so, you know. But I wanted to use headphones, basically, just to give the desk a bit of decoration. And also there's this trick that I saw, I can't remember who it was I saw do it, but I saw this trick where you can use the cube that came with Dream Home Decorator to basically like line up when you're using different levels of the desk, and that can allow items to stop floating, like if you just raise them up by yourself, which is such a problem when you're on console because you don't have any tool mod. There's no way of you precisely leveling and raising up or lowering items in a way that's perfect for different heights in the game. So you have to do a lot of it manually, and sometimes that can be really tricky to do because it won't all sit right. So yeah, I just use the cube to make sure that I've got the item at the level I wanted it to be, and then I try to move it off. It is a bit finicky because you have to like move it off of the cube that you're using, but also move the desk away so that you can like have it over there without snapping. Something that you can do is just add a bunch of items to all the snap points so that when you move things over there it doesn't snap to anything, because all the snap points are kind of taken up essentially. You could do that, but it just means you have to delete items afterwards. I prefer to do it in a way where I just move whatever it is I'm trying to place it on away from the wall so that it's not snapping to the desk or the shelf or whatever it is. I guess it works better for shelves because shelves don't have a lot of snap points for a lot of the items in the game, so that's kind of annoying. But we move on to the main bedroom, and because I kind of used the rug as like the base for the color of the tone of the room, I went with this green tone. And I don't normally use this bed, let alone this swatch, because I don't like the tone of the green in it, but it kind of just worked for this room, and it's an adult's room, it's like a parents' room. I just thought like it wasn't going to be that exciting anyway, to be fair. I just was like, parents' rooms, how do you make them interesting? I can't. So I switched things around. So where I've put the bookcase, I end up taking away the bookcase, putting the hanging clothes there, and then also where the hanging clothes were, I put the accent table that came with the Desert Luxe kit. And that was like the last thing I changed because I realized we haven't got a lot of Desert Luxe kit used in this build, and I don't want it to just be the one door that's used in this kit. Which, I mean, this build, which I do realize actually I did use the bar stools. So I guess it's not loads of things, but it's a few things. Like if you have the kit, great. If you don't, then yeah, it's fine. You don't have to have it for this build because it's mostly base game anyway, so you can just replace things pretty easily. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this build, guys. It is coming to an end. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment as well. If you have any suggestions, things, maybe builds that you want me to renovate or challenges you want me to try, leave them in the comments. I'm always interested to know if you guys have any things that you want me to do. And the build is up in the gallery. It is up in the gallery. My gallery ID is Sabythesimmer. You might also see my gallery ID is Sabira02. It's the same. You'll still get the same items on the gallery. But thanks again for watching this video, guys. I'll see you on Thursday for a new video. Take care. Enjoy the screenshots. I'll see you soon. Bye.